Good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here with
Meteorologist Adam Sherwinski.
And we're here to talk about the chance for some of the severe storms today. Now, right now, there is no threat at this particular moment. That changes later on today, doesn't it, Adam?
Yes, we have the potential to see some strong to severe storms here, and we usually see strong to severe storms this time of year, but these could pack quite a punch. We have a moderate risk for part of our viewing area, stretching all the way out into parts of Iowa, down into the Memphis area, too.
Yeah, so we're going to take this time here on social media and talk about the threat for severe storms today and tonight. We'll talk about it in our area. Apparently my mic, people can't hear my mic. Is that, somebody saying, let's make sure the mic, somebody's saying my mic is bad. So, I don't know what goes on. Is my audio, we'll fix the audio as well before we. Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Is that any better, folks? Getting a little better? Okay, I don't know. Sometimes things are a little squirrely. That's why we check first. Say, hey, how's our audio? We're checking in here. We got some other housekeeping to take care of too, Adam. So fine, working good, good. So again, what we're going to talk about is the threat for severe weather later on today and tonight. I'm going to give some housekeeping first, and Adam's going to talk about what's going on now, and then we'll break down the threat as we go into the afternoon and evening. If you have a question, we'll mention at the end, we like to go back and look at those questions. We like to say, hey, what do you see? What's going on? And that's what we'll take care of there. So that's the order that we can expect. So Adam, I'm going to talk about some of the housekeeping here. First off, this is the WCIA3 mobile app. You can download that. And in fact, if you want to mention here, you can download our app. There's the link for it as well. It's a great way to stay connected with the phone and on your phone for severe weather updates there. The app is available for Apple and Android devices, and it will send you instant weather alerts as soon as any watch, warning, advisory is issued. You program your location in there, it'll send you an alert. Say, hey, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning, or you have a flood warning nearby, and you will get that taken care of. So great app to have for folks that maybe don't have it. Some folks saying my mic is still a little wonky, so I'm going to have to investigate that and see what's going on. We will figure that out. Make sure it's not doing that before. So I'm wearing that mic pack right there. So again, that's what we're going on here. That's what I want to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about, we'll leave that up for folks to take a peek at. If you haven't been to our website or on the WCIA3 news or news app as well, it's another great way to stay connected here. And let me show you what we've got. First off, this is the website right here, WCIA.com. First off, for folks that are looking for information about the NOAA weather radio, we have found the issue with the tower. There's actually cables that have been basically broken or ripped apart because of the strong winds from back in March. They're not going to have it repaired in time. You can click on that. There's also a story right here, Champaign NOAA weather radio remains offline. That story, if you've got a weather radio at home and you live anywhere but Champaign or Piatt County, you can find out how you can program your weather radio. Now, Champaign, Piatt County will not have access to the NOAA weather radio today and probably through next week as well, so I want to mention that. This right here is the Severe Weather Center. If you're thinking, oh, what do I do when severe weather threatens? We've got you covered with our Severe Weather Center. First off, if there is a need for live streaming coverage, whether it's an event like actually right now, I should be able to click this. There we go. That's this live stream on the website. Anytime there's severe weather coverage, that live stream will be up and available for you. And that's where you can go, the Severe Weather Center. If you've got questions like, what's going on in my area? If there's a sirens going off, my weather radio went off. If there's weather information that needs to be shared and we are live streaming, that's where you can find it. There's also some information on the latest conditions, the severe weather impact. I want to scroll down to the bottom, and maybe you're not a fan of scrolling down to the bottom. Here at the top of the page, notice these little links right here. There's some good information about find your location. So where do you live? We talk about locations and maps. That's a great way to stay connected. And then below that is also how you can stay connected with us on social media. Watch versus warning when it comes to tornado. Where do I shelter? It's a one-stop shop, isn't it, Adam?
Yes.
Everything that's there that people need to be prepared for severe weather. We're with the mindset that this is a be prepared not scared type of day.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You know, people were saying that they have a lot of weather anxiety in this time of year as we're getting to spring. And as somebody who does still a little bit deal with some weather anxiety, you know, it's ironic, a meteorologist having a little bit of weather anxiety. I understand, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten more interested in what's going on here, and that's kind of feels more of a passion that it coincides a little bit of fear. So I understand the folks at home that are kind of worried about this setup, making it sound like, okay, are we hyping it up? Well, we're not hyping it up. We're just trying to make sure we spread the word, make sure that you're prepared, we're prepared, everybody's prepared and ready to roll. But when we talk about current conditions right now, you'll notice that we've got nothing happening here in Central Illinois. In fact, we've had a few of our cameras show a little bit of sunshine out there. Now, sunshine is the enemy for today. Normally, I like sunny skies, but that's going to help increase our instability here, and that's not good for showers and thunderstorms. Out towards our east, those are the showers and thunderstorms we had this morning. You're probably thinking we already had some thunderstorms. Well, that was for this morning's round, and that was not expected to be severe, nor was it here. We had a little bit of hail and rain, and very light hail and rain here for some of our viewing area this morning. Out towards the west in Missouri, we're going to watch for some of these thunderstorms to see what they do for more storms forming later on today. This is the area to kind of the breeding ground, if you will, where we're going to find some of our strongest storms to kind of initialize here, and at least where our first or second round will start to pop up too. Current conditions here are pretty all over the place. 65 in Omaha, 68 there in Kansas City, so warm air out there towards where we're going to start to see a bit more of those storms start to pop up. 58 here in Champaign, not in the 60s yet, but parts of our viewing area are in the 60s, places like Decatur and Springfield. Springfield has lots of sunshine. Again, sunshine is something we don't want to see for these kinds of setups. 36 there as you go to Minneapolis, 35 in Sioux Falls. Clearly a cold front is coming this way, and you'll notice right in between we have a little bit of a swirl here, or a little bit of a L kind of shape. That's where we're starting to see the warm front and the cold front, that little area of low pressure that's swimming through here. That's where we're going to find the low that's going to really be the reason why we have the threat for severe weather. Dew points aren't super high here in Central Illinois. They're relatively comfortable here. As temperatures start to warm up here, they won't be as bad, but you go out towards our west, that's where they're starting to see dew points increase here. And as they do, it's a warm, moist environment, perfect for showers and thunderstorms to begin to form. Outside of the showers and thunderstorms too, we have a lot of wind gusts. And you know, when we have these severe weather events, that's when we want to see, or we do see, a lot of wind shear. And especially on a robust day like today, where we've got plenty of wind at the surface too as well. Wind advisories going until we go into tomorrow afternoon here across Central Illinois. So keep that in mind. Wind gusts across the region, 20 to 30 miles per hour, getting closer to the 30 mile per hour mark in some spots above that. So some strong gusty winds already from the south, bringing in moisture, bringing in warmth for today. And again, temperatures are also pretty warm as well. Notice that our severe storm outlook here, a wide swath of that risk there. Not a marginal risk, but an enhanced risk along with a moderate risk. That does cut right through our viewing area here and pushes out towards the west there in a place like St. Louis, the Quad Cities, Peoria, down towards parts of southern Illinois into Memphis. Those are the spots that are under that level 4 out of 5 for severe weather for today. Tornadoes, damaging winds as well. Those are two of our big focuses, but we can't rule out some large hail as well. Also, we have another chunk of our viewing area there in the slight risk, or I should say, excuse me, the enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5 here. So still the opportunity for more severe storms. Slight risk of the areas in yellow, green, marginal, level 1, 2, and 1 there respectively. So keep that in mind, folks. That is a wide swath of severe weather day. We're not the only ones seeing the severe weather. All the way from Iowa and even into Wisconsin and Minnesota, down all the way into the middle south as well. This is a wide spanning event here potentially, and right now we're starting to see a little of those ingredients start to really come together here for our next round of showers and thunderstorms, which could happen within the next couple of hours. Isn't that right there, Jacob?
Yeah, that's something that we're keeping an eye on here, and we'll continue to monitor. So, Adam, there's still some folks saying there's a little bit of feedback, and so I'm going to mute your mic for the rest of this, or if, just to kind of, you know, we're having a little bit audio here. I don't know. I'm going to have engineering check that switcher out because a lot of folks are saying the audio is wonky. A little bit better, perhaps. I've been trying to adjust some of the settings here. It seems like something happened with the audio board. So hopefully we're getting this information out in a way that you can hear, and we apologize for that. Somebody's saying it's your mic, Adam. Where is your battery pack at? Is it in your pocket? Yeah, pull it out of your pocket and put it in the side towards the switcher. That way maybe it works a little better. So we'll check that, but we're going to spend some time. The other thing you do is you can turn your volume up in your phone. Some people maybe need to click the volume on the phone. So just we'll figure out what's going on there. Okay, so Adam, you talked about current conditions. Those dew points have been coming up today. We've got this risk for severe weather. I'm going to take over here and talk about the forecast of things, and we'll kind of...
I'll go work on my mic then.
Yeah, we'll kind of see what's going on. So first off, this is the latest from the storm predictions it is a level 4, a 4 on a scale of 1 to 5, moderate risk for the areas in red. And I want to mention that this is not just for us here in Central Illinois. Big picture-wise, I mean, this is a regional event. This moderate risk goes from Iowa all the way through Illinois down the Mississippi River. It ends up in Mississippi. There's a large swath of areas that is having some issues, and so that's certainly something that we're watching. Not just us here locally, but our friends and neighbors all across the region. I mean, it's a pretty, usually when you get risks like this, it's a smaller area. This is a large scale type of event for us here where lots of folks are in the threat. We're going to focus specifically on our threat here locally. Now let's talk about the severe weather impacts. First off, we have brought our tornado threat up. That in particular is due to the afternoon round. We had questions about it. We didn't know if it would materialize. It seems like the afternoon round, last night it became more evident that it's going to be a problem for areas in Illinois here. The wind threat will be a problem with the afternoon, especially the evening round, I should say. And so that's something we mentioned. We talk about, hey, am I in the 3 or the 4? Am I in the... This is what we want you to focus on, are the impacts. And we're going from 2 o'clock to 11 p.m. for that here in Central Illinois. Hail also likely, especially with the supercells, maybe not as much with the line. We're going to break it all down for you and talk about who's seeing what here across the region. So first off, this is that local risk. Look, Champaign, I get it. We're right there on the edge of the red. Some folks are going to say, oh, I'm in the orange. It's not so bad. We will expect the area-wide to have issues. It doesn't matter like, oh, I'm in the orange, or I'm not in the big red area, I'm okay. We'll have problems area-wide, I think, from this particular event, so that's something that we're going to watch closely and keep an eye on. Now, as far as future track, watch closely with you. I'm going to walk you through what we expect and what's going on. Adam, you're clicking mine, I think, there. So make sure you're on 1, I'm on 2. Future track shows that we've got the clouds coming through and there are breaks in the sun. Several of you on Facebook are saying, hey, the sun's shining right now. What we expect is some instability to increase as we go through the afternoon. This will be the round number 1. This is 2:30. Now this could vary a little bit, and timing, sometime after lunch we expect the initial round. And within this round here is where we might have some of those more individualized supercell thunderstorms. I'll back it up just a little bit. Here's 4 o'clock. Notice there's a cluster here, a cluster there, a cluster there. Those are indicating that maybe we have a couple of supercell thunderstorms passing through somewhere across the middle part of the state into the northwestern part of the state. There's a lot of folks that don't get that, but if you're in the path of one of these supercells, that's where the tornado potential will be the highest. I can't say right now exactly where that's going to be. The general region I think it will be is more than likely along and north of I-72, perhaps along the I-55 corridor. That would be 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. As we move forth, though, there may be some more storms that develop a little further south towards I-70 that take those same characteristics on. Now, there are some question marks here with this batch of this initial round. Could it blob together and turn into a big mass of rain and wash things out? Folks, I think that's still a possibility here. We have to watch and see how round 1 plays things out. Now, Future Track is saying, nope, there'll be a bit of a break. Those storms will carry off to the east, and round number 2 will arrive. This is during the 6 o'clock hour. A broken line of scattered storms that should turn more linear will follow that. That's where I think the damaging wind threat will be greatest. And notice, this pretty much will get most areas in central Illinois. The supercells are localized. They're on a path through. This line here will bring the damaging wind threat in particular to a lot more of us. There still will be the potential for some tornadoes in this line as well. The afternoon round, 2 to 7. This round, 6 to 11 in our region. And that's something that we're going to watch very closely here as we go on through. Notice it's out of here really quickly, and we will be done with that in central Illinois. And so we'll continue to watch that closely. As far as the tornado risk goes, this is the tornado risk here. We're up on our scale to an 8. Can it go any higher? I don't think that'll be the case, but I do think maybe there could be some slight changes in where that is. It may pull a little north and east with the midday update. We'll watch that. Again, folks are saying, well, I'm in the 6, or maybe I'm here in the 4. There's still a risk for severe weather here, and at this point, numbers, colors, wherever you are, consider yourself to be in this. Now, I've got this graphic here. This explains our tornado scale a little bit more, and I think it helps illustrate that for folks who maybe are wondering, where does that come from? If you're familiar with the Storm Prediction Center, that 8 to 9 range does correlate with the Storm Prediction Center's 15%. We base our scale off of that. We get lots of 1s, 2s, and 3s. We have a number of 4s and 5s. 6 and 7s pretty rare. As we get to the 8 there, you got to start thinking about afternoon and evening plans. How are you going to stay connected with the weather? And this should go pretty much, area-wide, I think, in that 6 to 8 range, where afternoon and evening plans, I'd be keeping a very, very close eye on the weather. So that's something I want to mention there. That is also available online if you want to look at that scale more, but we derived that based on the Storm Prediction Center. We've talked a lot about tornadoes. Some of us will see that tornado threat. More of us will see the wind threat with that second round coming through the line. And you'll see here these colors. There's a purple and a fuchsia or a pinkish color there. 70 to 75 mile-an-hour winds on the scale, likely with that line. That will cause power line damage as it comes on through. And remember, in that line coming through this evening, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., that's where the more substantial wind threat will materialize for us in our region. We'll watch that. There could be some of those storms that tap into the instability and tap into the wind energy, where some gusts over 75 miles an hour, not out of the question. Again, Adam mentioned about that wind advisory. Well, we're already going to have blustery winds out there before and after these storms. This is something that I think will be the bigger problem for more of us, though on a day like today, if those supercells form, the impacts from those individual storms will be more substantial, I think, than the wind even. But all in all here, still some questions on how it evolves, but we realize that the impacts could be rather significant with this event. There still is an out. There is, where we in our area may not see the worst. It may turn more towards Peoria, towards LaSalle, Peru, maybe I-55 westward where the supercells end up. And then we may have the worst of the weather more south of I-70 where maybe we can still split the gap. Fingers crossed, we'll keep an eye on it. But the chance of that happening seems to be getting a little less as we go hour by hour here watching things evolve. So I want to mention that. Real quick here, folks asking about the hail threat. Some of these storms could very well have some large hail. We'll go up to golf balls here, but if we have those individual supercells, it wouldn't surprise me to have some hen egg size hail or larger. That's getting to the 2-inch range. We'll watch and keep you updated on that. Don't want to discount the hail threat, but it's not really the main impact from this. It's the tornadoes and the wind that we'll watch here. Adam kind of talked about the winds here. Wind gusts are still going to be blustery. After these storms exit here, this is 10 p.m., they're on their way out. We still got widespread wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles an hour in the area, and that is going to be a problem for us as we move on forward. That's why that wind advisory is in place. What I'm going to do real quick, and Adam, we're going to bring it back to you, and you can kind of talk to 7-day in a second. We get the mic working. Maybe. So the WCIA3 weather app, perhaps, if I can get things, there we go. There you are, Adam, you're on now. The WCIA3 weather app is a great way to stay connected. I've got folks saying, boy, I hope that the tornado sirens work. In fact, maybe I should find that reliable alerts graphic and share that really fast here. Tornado sirens should not be your first go-to for severe weather information. And the reason for that is that they are meant for outdoors. If you're at the park, you're outside, that's what they're designed for here. The same thing as having a tornado siren in your house is a NOAA weather radio and your smartphone with wireless emergency alerts. If you're like, I want to hear the siren, have an indoor siren, have 2 of them. Now understand the Champaign and Piatt County areas are not able to get their weather radio to work right now. The feed is down. That is 2 ways to stay connected. Don't count on that. The other thing I will say is that Facebook and Twitter, if you're looking for live up-to-the-minute updates on there, they don't work like that. Social media is not going to be able to keep you up to date on that. What I'll mention is that you can still come to Facebook and find out information. We will live stream, just as we are now, on Facebook and on Twitter. But if you're looking for warnings and things of that, don't count on that being don't count on that being a reliable way. We encourage, you can watch us on TV. We've got the crawl ready to go. We'll cut in as needed. Your WCIA3 weather app, you can program your location. It'll allow you to put your location in and figure out, what's going on in your area, and then it knows to send you an alert when that happens if you're inside the particular polygon. Radio stations, a lot of times the alerts play on that. Weather radio, again, notice how we have multiple good ways here? Two or more ways is what we look for to have that in the area. So that's something that we're going to watch very closely and keep an eye on. Pick two, have that. That way, in case one fails, you got another way to do that. That is basically what I got, Adam, here. And let me bring you back on. I see some folks there saying, wow, this is going to be a really bad day. I think it's safe to say, Adam, for some of us, that could very well be the case. Remember, it's spring. We get spring storms, and we've got more spring storms in the 7-day forecast we'll worry about. But this is a part of living in Illinois. There's a lot of great things about living in central Illinois. It's beautiful here. We get all kinds of weather. We have nice days, but this is one of those days where it's not necessarily the greatest type of day for us, and that happens every once in a while. I think also, Adam, you might agree with me. I don't know if your mic is any better.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. Can people hear me?
Yeah. Did you by chance take your batteries out at one point?
I did, and I put them back in.
Okay, so somebody said that it cleared up really fast.
There we go.
Went away. So I think our two mics are on similar channels is what's happening.
That might be.
That probably is what it is. That's an engineering. We'll have to talk to engineering about that. But anyways, a day like today is where there's a high ceiling on the severe weather threat where we can fall somewhere beneath that, and we can even hit that ceiling for what could happen. I mean, it could very well be, hey, this is a Peoria area problem. Our immediate viewing area gets through pretty lucky. And it could be where, hey, some of those supercells end up in our area, and maybe we're not so lucky. So that's going to be a problem for us here. Again, we're going to watch that sunshine, that afternoon round. I still think a line comes through in the evening. It's going to be a day where we just kind of have to watch for things, right, Adam?
And that's the thing, you were talking about that cake metaphor earlier a couple days ago, and I think that was a great metaphor only because, now we're at the point now where the cake is in front of us, right? I know a lot of viewers probably are like, yeah, we love that cake metaphor. The cake is in front of us.
Should I give it real quick, just for folks that maybe don't hear it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so the cake, a couple days ago, we were looking at the cake off on the other side of the room, and it looked really good. It was a good-looking cake, but we hadn't got close to it. We hadn't cut it open. We're at the point now where we're starting to cut open the cake and see those layers inside and see how things evolve. And it may very well be, Adam, until we take that first bite, all of a sudden that cake, somebody used all salt instead of sugar.
Right.
It's still there, but I mean, it looks to be. Okay, so let me check. I got an update real quick, Adam, and I may need to okay, so this is actually coming from the Storm Prediction Center. They are actually expecting an upgrade to high risk in northwest Illinois. I don't think that has come through yet. And there are going to be two areas that receive a high risk, actually. One down to the south. So one down here in the Memphis area. In fact, let me bring the graphics. So the graphics have not updated as of yet. But there will be a level 5 high risk down here. There will be a level 5 high risk in southeast Iowa and northwest Illinois. That's going to be somewhere centered in this area, and I expect that the moderate risk could expand potentially here. The risk area for the high risk will include areas from Peoria to Jacksonville and points to the north and west. Now that is going to be the bullseye, but we are still in a level 4 risk outside of that. So an upgrade to a tornado-driven high risk is now coming for northwest Illinois and southeast Iowa. Those graphic updates will come out here at the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. Let's see, that's going to be by 11:30 when that comes out. That will not include our immediate area, but we still are going to see the potential for that to happen. Just saw that come across the wire, Adam, wanted to mention, where, again, we're starting to take that bite of the cake, and it's, I don't want to say it's a delicious cake, but it's a cake that's well made, well baked. It's got everything it needs for a day like today. So that's something where this can be a weather day, which for some folks, some folks somewhere are really going to have a bad day today, unfortunately. Where exactly that remains to be seen. That's why we're really pushing the be weather aware, have your weather app, have your severe weather plan in place on a day like today, and that's something that we're very concerned about here. So, Adam, I kind of cut you off. Keep
No,
going.
it's all right.
I just saw that come across. I thought, we need to talk about
No,
it.
that's fine. That's good. I will mention, though, that's roughly the same area we had our moderate risk for this morning. So it's kind of like they flipped the moderate risk for now a high risk in that same spot and changed out some of that enhanced risk for us to be a moderate risk. Does that make any sense, what I'm saying, Jacob?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about that. It's the same area that had that moderate risk earlier this morning, now flipping over to a little bit more of the high risk there, the level 5, which those are rare. It's something to take seriously too. And as we mentioned, we're starting to get into this cake and kind of figure out what's going on with it here and there. We won't get our full review of the cake until after or during our initial couple of bites here. So we're starting to get really into it and go from there. Let's talk about the 7-day forecast real quick, because yes, we are talking about severe weather, severe weather, severe weather. We will have another day tomorrow. The sun will shine again. This is not the end of the world, I promise you. It's just going to be a really bad day for some people out there and some people here at home potentially too. But let's talk about tomorrow. And what a wild flip from 67 degrees back down towards 45 and windy still. Those wind gusts still stick around even outside of our thunderstorms even into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we are still windy. We are colder. We are 45 degrees, 28 for a low. The winds come back there for Sunday. Could even see some 60s out there, but we're not done with the chances for severe storms. We're getting into April. This is the time of year we get severe weather across central Illinois. That does include Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see chances for showers and thunderstorms. Looking like Tuesday, the better day to see some of those storms already. And the National Weather Service has been taking a look at that as well. Those days moving ahead because, again, we're going to see more activity moving forward. This is not the end of the world. I know with people like me, again, have a little bit of weather anxiety out there. It's okay. Just be prepared. That's all you can do in this situation and go from there. And listen to us and listen to wherever you can get your reliable sources from, whether that be the TV, whether that be online, whether that be through us, our weather app, NOAA Weather Radio. Just make sure you're ahead of the game here. But as I said, we're going to get right back into it after cooling down in central Illinois.
I guess your mic is still being fuzzy. I don't know if this makes it any better.
Oh, does this help? Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We'll see. I think some folks kind of heard what you're saying, and you're kind of talking about the severe storms. Next week, there's another potential.
Yes.
And so that's something we're okay. Here's what we do, Adam. I'm just gonna wipe your mic out. You're gonna come join me at the pod, and I don't know what's going on with your mic. There might be, so you can come join me over here, and then we'll kind of close this out real quick. And let me just kind of zoom out. So there we go. Come hang out over here in the pod. You can join in. Come hang out.
Sorry,
Come hang out over here.
I'm just reading, I'm sorry.
All right. So we're going to be here. Kevin will be on his way in shortly. Seth will be in. We are still figuring out who is doing what.
Yes.
And I guess a full transparency mode is I'm supposed to go to the airport tonight and go to a wedding in Florida, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I know my wife's watching. I mean, this is going to be a day where, things are going to get really out of hand for folks. We may end up sending 2 people into the field potentially. I may go towards the Springfield route, and then Adam, you'll be here with Kevin, and Seth may be in the Champaign area, but we're going to have our conference call and talk about things and plan it out. And so that's kind of what's going on today is we've got this substantial risk for severe weather. It will be a tornado-driven high risk in northwest Illinois. So that means up there it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Whereas we still expect to keep the 8 here. I don't think it'll go to a 9, but we're going to watch and keep a close eye on that, Adam, where, there's a lot of anxiety. I feel a little myself. You probably do as well.
Same.
But we will be here every step of the way with you the entire time. And I know there's questions coming on through about, what's going on. If you're looking for timing information and more, our website, WCIA.com. I've got the article updated at 9 a.m. You can watch the Weather Now video updated at 9 a.m. I will update that at noon as well. We're going to keep a continuous source of information moving on through as we have a severe weather event coming through the area. So with that being said, Adam, do you have anything else that we've missed?
No, I just think that today's the day to be prepared. Be ready.
Be prepared, not scared, right?
Exactly.
As long as you know you're prepared. And again, there still is a chance for some folks. Here's probably what happens. Some folks in here, Adam, are going to say, I didn't get any severe storms. You missed the forecast. I think that's coming too, don't you think?
Yeah, well, this is one of the times where I don't like to have my forecast plus, but when it comes to people,
I'm okay if it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm okay if people don't get hurt. That's all I care about.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on things as we watch it. This will be the first high risk for Illinois when it pops in.
Since probably the Washington tornado?
It may be for parts of Illinois since back in 2013. Now, we say that, and I don't want people to think that's the type of day necessarily, but we're talking about the potential is there that this might be a higher end day for some particular areas in the region. I will say this, I've seen a lot of folks asking about schools in central Illinois. I can't tell superintendents what to do, and I won't tell them what to do, and I know they're watching and keeping an eye on things here. Schools have safe places, so if you're worried about that, they have safe places that the kids will go. Kids will be getting out at a time in many areas where I think they'll get home. There may be some problem areas, but we'll be here every step of the way bringing coverage and whatnot, and I know we've got some great educators in the region. We've got great superintendents, great school boards, great teachers that are also well aware of what the potential is today, and they will keep kids safe as we move on through the afternoon and into the evening. So if I had to guess, Adam, based on that high risk here, the moderate risk may expand, but again, we're just talking schematics here. Plan on today being a day that will impact your afternoon and evening plans, and once we get to 10 o'clock or so, we're done for the day. We'll have a nice, chilly, late winter, early spring day for us as we get to tomorrow. With that,
I'm good.
Cool. All right, we probably will not do any more digital updates before storms. Maybe the next time you'll see us at noon on WCIA TV. I will cut the weather story and put that on the website as well. And we'll keep you updated with full team coverage through the day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with us. And we will be here with you every step of the way. And at the end of the day, I hope all of you point at your fingers at me and Adam and Kevin and Seth and say, you were wrong.
I agree.
So that's what we hope happens. But if not, we will keep you updated. All right. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your afternoon. Stay weather aware and